Good morning, everyone. We're going to start this Sunday morning off with making a little cornbread, and I'm going to teach you some little quick tricks, save you a little time. But this is old-timey cornbread. The first ingredient that I'm going to use is the white lily buttermilk white cornmeal mix. It's self-rising. So Maureen, I'm making this video for you, hon. I don't know if you can get the white lily buttermilk white cornmeal mix, but most any of your cornmeal mixes they'll all work. You just got to find one you like the flavor. Now I'm making my cornbread this morning in a 5-inch skillet, and the first thing you want to do is turn your oven on. Put it on 400, 425, according to how hot your oven is. I don't measure, sorry. That looks like it might be a cup and a quarter, something like that. That amount of, that's going to, be a small size cornbread. And this is the shortcut. Our grandmothers used, well, more than likely they didn't use a mix. They ground up the corn, and they probably added their baking powder, salt, and maybe even some baking soda. But we got the cornmeal mix nowadays, so it makes it easier. And then they would add egg and a fat. And when I say fat, you gotta have some kind of a fat. You gotta have a butter, a lard, Crisco, something like that. You gotta have a fat in there. But one of my aunts taught me a long time ago, you could make a shortcut by using mayonnaise, because mayonnaise has got your fat and your egg in it. So I've been using that for years. And I just put a couple of little heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise in there. Remember, that's your egg and your fat. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our buttermilk in there. And I use the whole buttermilk. I don't use the low fat. And I just pour some in there. That might have been a cup, a half cup, 3/4 cup. I'm not sure. Got some water here. Move some of this. Okay, we're going to start stirring our mayonnaise and our cornmeal mix and our buttermilk. So this is a good consistency here. And I do like grandmother did. I pour some buttermilk in it and stir it up. And then I start adding water. Good old cornbread. Now we got to grease this skillet. I wouldn't recommend using butter because it's going in such a hot oven, and that would not, the butter will burn. It's too high heat for the butter. Grandmother always used lard. She used it out of a bucket. Granddaddy always had hogs killed every year, so they had their own lard, and it was good lard. But you can still buy lard in the grocery store. It's not going to be as good as homemade, from a hog that you fed out and know what it was fed and free range and stuff like that. I may have just poured a little too much water. Uh-oh. Be alright. It'll still be good. Alright, I'm just going to use some shortening, vegetable shortening. Get you a good whopping of it. And generously grease this skillet. And already, if you try this recipe, honey, you're going to love it. It's not sweet. I cannot handle no sweet cornbread. But you will love this. You're going to be able to slice you off a piece of this and slap you some butter in the middle of it. Oh my word. So this is already rising. That's the consistency you want right there. Hope you can see this. All right, here's your cornbread, and it is going in the oven. We're going to cook this till it turns golden brown on the top. Remember, set your oven at about 400 to 425 degrees. If your oven tends to run a little hot, do 400. Mine's pretty hot. It's a gas oven, so I'll bring you back when it comes out of the oven. Okay, I checked the time on this, and the cornbread has been in the oven for 40 minutes. I'll hit clear. Now that's a pretty golden brown. I always dump my cornbread while it's hot, and I put it on a plate with a knife. I'm gonna let that steam come out, because it's very hot. But you got a nice crispy outside and a real tender inside. And we just gotta let it go. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit, and then I'll come back and slice it. I believe it's cold enough I can cut it now. I'm just gonna cut a small piece because I'm not even having breakfast yet this morning. If you really want it like Grandma used to make, you gotta put some butter in there. And you talk about good with some peas. Mashed potatoes and green beans. That's some good stuff right there. Good. Maureen, I think you'll love this, honey. Try it. Have a good day. God bless.